All right, y'all. So I went to Lowe's this weekend and got some lumber to start framing in the end walls on the greenhouse, and I saw something I couldn't resist. Now, I don't really recommend shopping at the big box stores, but when I see a deal that I can't pass up, I gotta do it. They had all their citrus marked 50% off in these little 1 gallon containers, and usually they're like 25 bucks. They were like $11.99, so I couldn't not get one or two. So you can see right here, we've got this is a Persian lime and a improved Meyer lemon that are both really nice. And I actually saw my buddy Jorge, who runs Jorge's Hidden Gardens, and he said this is a really good deal specifically for one really good reason. If you look at this tree, you can see there's no graft lines, there's no graft points. And come to find out, these are not grafted. These are actually rooted cuttings from the Meyer lemon and the Persian lime. So on the off chance that we do get a freeze, and these are not in my greenhouse, which they will be, if they die back to the ground, when they come back up, it'll still be a Persian lime. It'll still be a Meyer lemon, which is really cool. I'm not gonna let them die back, but I like the idea that it's not grafted. Really cool. If you come over here and look at my other citrus, we're walking through where the doorway will be on the greenhouse. In these Vigo containers that I've got, you can see the graft line. This is a Calamondin, and this is a grafted rootstock. And right here is where you can see the graft line a little bit. Yeah, it's hard to see. You can see on this. So if you look at my variegated pink lemon, you can see right here the graft line. This is a certified budded nursery stock, and this is where the graft line would be. This is the rootstock, and this is the variegated lemon cutting that's growing up here. So nothing wrong with either one. It's just kind of cool to see that you can actually get one that's rooted from a cutting instead of actually grafted, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and get them up potted out of those pots because they look really root bound. All right, so your first instinct when you buy a plant like this is like, man, I'm gonna go and stick it in a big pot and let it get huge, and I'm gonna get a ton of lemons or limes or whatever. But what I'm here to tell you, in my experience, putting something from a 1 gallon pot into a 15-gallon pot is not your best course of action. What happens when you put a small plant into a big pot is that plant is going to spend all of its time and energy growing all those roots into that pot. So the first year or two, you're not going to get any fruit. So what you want to do is gradually up pot. You want to gradually up pot into something like this. I would go with a 3-gallon. I think this is probably about 4 gallons maybe. That has really good drainage and some good soil. And what's going to happen is when you put it in something like this, rather than this, is you're going to get that good root development, but you're also going to get some fruit in the process. Because if you were to plant something like this in this 15-gallon pot, sure, you're going to get some fruit, but it may take a little bit longer to start getting it. So if you want to get fruit a little bit quicker, slowly up pot from smaller to bigger pots, especially with your citrus. So we got my handy dandy scoop. We're going to go ahead and fill this thing up about, I don't know, halfway. And this is just recycled soil that I have from around the garden. Everybody always asks me in my videos, what type of soil are you using? Well, when I buy soil, it's Landscaper's Pride, Garden Magic, or heirloom soils, veggie and herb a lot of the times. But it all gets mixed together. I don't throw soil away. And honestly, the older the soil is, it seems like the better it is. It's all broken down. That carbonaceous material starts to break down, even with ants. Ants actually, they are a menace, which I cannot control them in my garden at all. But what they do is actually create a really nice silky soil once they're done. So if you have a big ant infestation in one of your pots, put some orange oil or something, get rid of them. But then you'll see afterwards that pot is like the nicest, silkiest, velvety soil, and I love it. So shout out to the ants. It's got to go a little bit more. All right, so about halfway here, halfway right there. This is actually a Dollar General pot. towards the end of summer, go get you a Dollar General pot for half price. And most of them last okay, but some of them are crap. So we got our, look at how root bound that is. You can see when it's in a tiny pot like that, the roots start to make a circle. They start going in circles. We're gonna add a little bit more soil in here. Kind of keep that root base up. And it's gonna have plenty of time to adapt and develop those roots over the winter in my greenhouse. A lot of people think that first thing in spring, whenever the winter is gone, is the best time to plant a tree or to get a tree. It's actually the winter time. The fall time is the best time to get a tree, because your plant, if you're gonna put it in the ground or put it in a pot, is gonna have a better chance of surviving the winter than it is that first hot summer that it's gotta deal with. So I highly recommend getting your fruit trees planted in the fall and not in the spring. Spring is okay too, but I mean, in my experience, fall is better. Fall is for all. The fall is for all. All right. Get this guy topped off. And a little bit more, little more hoe. Little more of a hoe. And get my inner Cajun going. So I got these from Lowe's, and now is like one of the best times, big old root. Now is one of the best times to go to greenhouses and go to these big box stores, which I don't recommend going to the big box stores unless you know what you're looking for, because typically they got stuff mislabeled, laying around. They don't really always have the best information. But if you know what you're looking for, go check out the clearance aisles right now, because they're getting rid of everything because they know the cold is coming. And if you can overwinter fruit trees like this, you're golden. All right, we're gonna do one more thing here. All right, we got some Microlife citrus and fruit. This is good stuff. We're gonna go ahead and give it a little Salt Bae action. This is organic stuff, good stuff. We're gonna kind of massage it in, pack that root system in right there, give it a little TLC, and then we're gonna put it in the greenhouse with the rest of the citrus. Follow me. You can tell I'm doing some work in here. Got a lot of stuff going on, but we're gonna go ahead and sit them right here next to the rest of the citrus. And we'll get them watered in later on when we water everything else in. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. I have a lot of fun out here in the garden, and I appreciate everybody watching. If you like what you see, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.